name is Alex Matthew. With me is Mahima Vajrajani, and we'll take you through the next 1 hour of trade. Mahima, morning.
Morning, Alex.
And happy Monday to you.
Happy Monday to you
All right,
as well.
let's take a look at how markets are right now, and it's wait and watch mode, if anything, with the Indian equity markets, like it is the case for a lot of global markets as well, because the big event to watch later today is the inauguration, if you can call it that, or the onset, if you can call it that, of the Trump presidency. The 47th president of the United States will be taking charge of the White House and indeed of the United States of America. And a lot of people wondering what is in store for not just the people in the United States, but also the rest of the world, particularly because a lot of comments have been made about what could come to pass in the first week. He's promised just yesterday thousands of his supporters that he would, as soon as he takes charge, announce measures to curb immigration. Now, there are no clear ideas as to what could come to pass in the first few hours. So therefore, understandably, there's a little bit of wait and watch playing out. Let's take a look at the equity markets, in fact, and you have gains of about 0.2% for the benchmark indices, and the broader markets at this juncture are sanguine, but then it's a lot of chop and churn. Mid-cap index down or more or less flat right now. You have the small cap index up about 0.1% or so, and really the moves are with individual names and quite a few of them reacting to results as well. Wipro, let's pull that up and see where it's currently trading. It reacted to a positive set of numbers and it was trading higher. It continues to trade higher by about 7% or so. Tech Mahindra, the jury was out earlier today. Some people going out and saying that it was positive. Others were saying that the headline numbers were negative. Brokerage is basically talking about the outlook for 2025 being better than 2024 and seeing positive cues from the deal wins that came through, 23% odd higher than the previous quarter, and so that's looked at as a positive. ICICI Lombard was the other that stood out to me. What stands out to you?
Right, I think Kotak Mahindra Bank is also something, on the back of Q3 earnings, excellent results. The stock is up 8.9%. In terms of advances, they grew by 15%. Deposits grew by around 15%. Their, net interest margins have improved to 4.93, and CASA ratio is at around 42.3. So a good set of numbers. The stock is up 8.9. Let's also pull up Kalyan Jewellers, because Motilal Oswal has come out with a clarification, with respect to the speculation that was going around. And because of the clarification, we see the stock, tagging around almost over 30% in the past 1 week, but the stock is up 7%. It did touch an intraday high of almost over 9%, but right now it's up around 7%. Let's also pull up RBL Bank. Weak set of numbers there. In terms of the gross NPA, it stood at 2.92%. Net profit was down 86% for the counter. It did see a slight, negative opening, but I think it's come off from its day's lows and down around 0.5%. So these are some of the counters, on the back of, Q3 earnings and of course certain significant updates.
RBL actually recovering quite a bit from the low point of the day. Dow was down about 4.5% at the start, and the entire lenders in the microfinance pack you should watch out for on the back of that, because they had to make special provisions in the quarter gone by. Credit costs as a result of which went up quite substantially in the quarter gone by. Let's get on our experts for the day. We've got Brijesh Ail joining in, and we've also got Saurabh Jain of SMC Global. Gentlemen, thanks as always for taking the time, and good morning to you. I believe we've got our first caller for the day. Ankit is calling us from Ahmedabad. Ankit, good morning and thanks so much for calling us. Are you looking forward to the Coldplay concert?
No. Actually, I am on the road.
Okay.
Going to the office right now.
Okay. All right. So, what do you want to know about?
I want to know about Bank of Maharashtra. I am looking to invest in Bank of Maharashtra. So, I wanted to know that what is the exact, what are the levels in which I should enter? Okay.
And what is the time frame that you have in mind, Ankit?
For long term, I guess 2 to 3 years.
2 to 3 years. So on the fundamentals, based on that, you want to decide whether to buy. Saurabh, a lot can happen over the next week, and some people looking for triggers from the budget recapitalization of banks, if at all. But Bank of Maharashtra, what do you make of the fundamentals?
Hi, good morning, Alex. Thank you for having me on the show. See, it is one of the best balance sheet among all the PSU banks. With the net NB at 0.2, the bank enjoys good net interest margin. In this quarter also, the bank has reported 30 more than 35% kind of a growth in their profitability, and quite confident of doing even better than in the last quarter of the financial year. So for the next 2 3 years, I think it is a good choice. Trading at a normal valuation of trading at around 8 times to trailing profit, trailing earnings, and about 1.7 times to book value. It seems to be a good bet for next 2 3 years. So my take would be go ahead.
Go ahead is the view coming in on Bank of Maharashtra. And moving on to the next banking counter, Utkarsh from Varanasi has bought 100 shares of ICICI Bank at 1226, and he wants a perspective from a short-term trading view, and he wants to know whether he should hold or sell considering the current levels. Brijesh, I'll come to you on this one. ICICI Bank is the counter. How does it fare on charts?
Hi, morning.
Morning.
So, yeah, specifically ICICI Bank, I think there has been a correction. And from the technical point of view, we are now coming closer to 200-day moving average. The value of the 200-day moving average, 1,211. So we'll net off it to 1,200. So my understanding is that since the market has fallen a lot and then we are in the oversold zone and even the ICICI Bank is in the oversold zone, one should hold the long positions. Some pullbacks can be expected. 1260 to 1280 can be the pullback zone in the coming trading session. So I would hold my long positions and I'll keep 1200 as a stop loss.
Kalyan Jewellers, there's a lot that is going on social media about this. And this relates to Motilal Oswal's acquisition and the quantum that it held in Kalyan Jewellers. Of course, the stock price, let's pull up the slightly longer term charts. And you have had, this is 1 week, but let's pull up the 1 month or in fact even 3-month charts just to give you an idea of how quickly the stock came off. 1 month, it's down about 25% or so. It is up about 7% in trade today. The question from Rajesh in Kerala is that he's bought at levels of, is that right, 700? Yeah, so he's bought at very significant elevated levels, and he's wondering whether it can be held for the long term. He defines that as 3 years. Saurabh, on the fundamentals, the concern was always about valuations, because even last week when I looked at the price to earnings multiple, and I'm talking about trailing, it was very close to Titan's. And so how do you justify that? Would you say that it's still a hold for 3 years?
I mean, clearly, Alex, the valuations at which the stock is trading it is discounting the growth that the company is going to witness in the next maybe 2 3 years. Even after the correction, the stock is trading close to 100 times to its trailing earnings and approximately 12 times to book value. While on the operational front, the existing stores are growing at a rate of 20%. With the addition, the company has posted growth of more than 30%. And the management is quite confident of posting similar kind of a growth in the ensuing quarters also. So in my opinion, he is bought at a higher level. I mean, at a very, very high valuation. So I think since the company is good and the business operations are good, he can hold for the next 2 3 years to get his price. So I will not suggest to average it out, but at the same time, you can hold on to it.
Hold is the view coming in on Kalyan Jewellers. Moving on to the next caller. Sheshu from Hyderabad is calling in. A very good morning to you, Sheshu. How can we help you?
Yeah, good morning too. Thanks for connecting. Thanks for, I think, I just want to check with you. Like, I'm just holding for a BDL
Okay.
for long term. It's almost from last 5 months, I'm holding it. Actually, I took for a long term.
Okay.
So it's around 1420 quantity
Okay.
and 1316 price actually.
Okay.
So, how good actually for long term, like more than 2 years or 3 years?
Okay.
Maybe if I'm okay. So that's what I'm just thinking. Is there any advice from your side?
Got it. Sheshu, I just wanted to know as to what was your thinking behind buying, Bharat Dynamics?
No, actually, it's mostly like it's a BJP government, definitely. Like there are, like recently also we have seen some up also. Like that is the reason we decided to buy this stock actually. And also recently, like there is a one offer came, right? Like there is a, I think some 2,000 crores, some project also came to Bharat Dynamics also. So that is actually I'm looking for long term only. So
Got it.
still I can hold for more than 3-4 years.
Got it. Got it.
So I just want to know.
All right, Saurabh, I'll come to you. Bharat Dynamics and the likes of, Bharat Dynamics. What is your view on the entire space?
See, the space is quite interesting, and it holds up a good potential for the next 3-5 years. And the government focus is clearly on the defense side, and budget is also around the corner. So maybe we'll see some kind of activity during the budget, after the budget announcements also. But having said that, I think again it is a case of higher valuation. I think in the last 2-3 years, PSU stocks got re-rated at a higher scale. I mean, they got re-rated at a massive pace. Haven't seen in the past. Same is the case of with the Bharat Dynamics trading at 13 times to book value. The PE is also on the higher side, and we are yet to see the order book conversion coming into the revenue. So while the government focus is there, but at the same time, I think the valuations are dearer. So in my opinion, I think it is best to take some profits around the budget when the stock is likely to move upwards, and then wait for the markets correction to buy the stock in a staggered manner for the next 3-5 years.
Okay. Brijesh, I'm coming to you on the next question. This is a question from Vaishak and asking about TCS. It's a stock from a pack that is in focus and has been over the last week or so on account of earnings. He's bought at levels of 4,275 and he's incurring a loss right now, but he says that he can hold for a year. What are the prospects on the charts for 1 year?
Yeah, so maybe from the year perspective, yes, we can hold, but then on an immediate basis, I think there would be some, like whatever the move we were expecting in the IT space and specifically TCS, it has been done, and more or less it has a potential to break 4,000 mark. So on a short-term basis, some profit booking or maybe some distribution will be there. But then from the year perspective, we need to understand from how long this stock would sustain, like what kind of would be the lower side demand zone. Maybe once 4,000 mark is broken, 3,800, 3,700 would be the likely downside. So once we see those level, and then we need to understand what kind of upside will be there. But hold can be the view, and whatever the recent high 4,400, so stock can go back to 4,400 levels. So maybe when it comes to 3,800, 3,700, one should look to add or maybe some averaging the long positions.
All right, so that's the view on Tata Consultancy Services. I believe we've got our next caller. Viru is calling us from Hyderabad. Viru, hi, good morning. How can we help you today?
Good morning, sir.
Good morning. Please go ahead.
I'm Viru from Hyderabad calling.
Got it, Viru. Please go ahead.
I want to know the right time. Is it right time to enter into Venus pipes?
Okay.
At this price, because for a long time horizon of 2 years.
2 years. Okay. So what do you like about Venus pipes, Viru?
Yeah. I'm expecting in next 1 to 2 years there will be a good future for nuclear industries and chemical and power industries. Venus pipes is a manufacturer of seamless and welded pipes.
Okay.
Which will have bright future and with these industries like that.
Okay, so industrial applications of stainless steel pipes is what you anticipate. Let's find out if Saurabh is of the same opinion. Venus Pipes has come off, Saurabh, from the relatively higher valuations that you saw a while back. From what I can see, it's currently trading at just under 6 times price to book at 1,417. 200-day moving average is 1,800 plus. Would you say that it's buy at this point for the next 2 years?
I think yes. I mean, he has done his homework correctly. It certainly makes sense that the company is likely to do well in the next 2-3 years because of the expansion which will be seen in the manufacturing sectors. And because it is the ancillary provider, I mean, kind of ancillary company providing its products to the in various manufacturing units. So the froth and the valuations have subsided. It is clearly seen that the stock has corrected a lot, and now the valuations are on the lower side also, and the company is posting good set of numbers also. If you look at the September quarter earnings, the company has posted approximately 25-30% kind of a growth year on year, while sequentially there was a degrowth. So I think the business performance is quite good. The valuations have subsided. So it makes a sense to, buy stocks but in a staggered manner. I would say I would say buy in tranches in during market corrections.
That's the view coming in on Venus Pipes. So moving on to the next query. Yash has a query on Lux Industries. He's holding 30 shares and he's bought it, he's saying that he's bought this almost 3.5 years ago at the levels of 3,300. So he's sitting on a loss of almost 44,000 rupees because currently the stock is trading at 1820 levels. He wants to know whether it's worth holding this or should I switch to some other stock because this is not performing since quite some time now. Saurabh, I'll come to you on this one because he's been holding this for 3.5 years. Do you see that fundamentally the company is going to change in the coming years? We are seeing that the retail is now picking up, and since this, is a part of, the sub-premium segment when it comes to innerwear, do you think that we'll see a demand uptick and henceforth change in terms of its revenues and bottom line?
Yeah, I mean, certainly the textile sector is looking up to me. I mean, on the business metrics also, the Lux is doing only well. The valuations have subsided, clearly trading at 3 times book value, and PE has also settled. The things are looking up for the sector as well as for the company. So, in my opinion, he can still hold those stock.
Okay, still hold the stock is the view coming in on Lux Industries. Moving on to the next caller, Gautam from Vizag is calling in. Gautam, a very good morning to you. How can we help you?
Yeah, very good morning, ma'am. My question is, I have purchased Cochin Shipyard shares.
Okay.
Total 174 shares.
Okay.
And the average price is 1738.14.
Okay. What do you want to know, Gautam? Yeah.
Yeah, I want to hold this share for another 14 to 16 months.
Okay.
So, is it a right decision or should I exit? Could you please tell me?
Do you want to, have a fundamental view on this? Did you, buy the stock seeing the charts or did you see the fundamentals of the company?
Yeah, by charts only.
By charts only. Okay. So then we'll get you a technical view on this one. Brijesh, I'll come to you. 14 to 16 months is the time horizon. How does it look on charts?
Specifically, there are most of the defense stocks they were correcting, and lately they have taken support and maybe has ahead of the budget there is some bounce expected. So the value of this 200-day moving average is 1750. So I think that bounce is there in the on the Cochin Shipyard. So somebody can take fresh positions and play for the 200 points move. So 1750 to 1800 can be possible in the next couple of months. So view would be positive, and on the immediate basis, the recent low was 1360. So somewhere below 1360, that one should keep the stop loss.
All right. That's the view on Cochin Shipyard. Stop loss has also been given, so make sure you pay attention to that. The next question is from Subhashish, who's writing about Fortis Healthcare. He's got 6 shares that he's bought at levels of 709, and the stock is currently trading just below 650. So he's lost a little bit of ground. He's wondering whether the long-term prospects for this stock are good. So from the fundamentals, Saurabh, would you keep hold of this? Would you buy something else in the hospital space? What about an Apollo Hospitals or something else, one of the smaller specialty hospitals?
Well, the sector is looking good. I mean, in the industry, we are seeing continuously that they are keep on adding beds, and the utilization rates are also going up. I mean, their per bed profits are also going up. So, but on the valuation sides, all the hospital stocks are on the expensive side, be it Apollo or Fortis. So, I think the space is good. He can stick with it.
It is the view on Fortis. Abhirami is calling us from Chennai. Morning, Abhirami, and morning again, and thanks so much for calling. How can we help you?
Sir, I want buy right this time for BEL, BEL.
Okay, and what's your time frame? I'm guessing it's a few months, right?
Yes, sir.
How many months?
Sir, because I get the news for NDTV budget investment sector,
right.
Ad will be BEL defense sector. I bought this stock.
Yes.
That's only I want to buy this stock for this.
Okay. So is it 2 months, 3 months? Is that the view you're seeking?
6 months. 6 months, sir.
Okay, 6 months. Brijesh, on the charts then, BEL currently trading with gains of about 1% at 285. Would you buy?
Really, I think it is one of the counter which we are also recommending to our clients. And the recent low, it has already taken a support. So I would be betting for 315, 320 on the higher side. That would be the immediate upside. So definitely it's an opportunity for to play this move. So 315, 320 would be the next level to watch on.
All right, so that's the view coming in on BEL. Just quickly, a quick mention on Globus Spirits. The stock is up almost 14% right now. Consumer Affairs Ministry has notified reduction in price for rice for supply of, ethanol distilleries. And price for rice reduction is to 22.5 kgs from 28 kg. Now, this is the only distillery which uses a lot of rice for their ethanol production, which is why, since the raw material prices will go down, their overall margins will go up and their bottom line will get boosted, which is why we're seeing a significant uptick in Globus Spirits as we speak. Moving on to the next query, Sunil from Haryana is calling in. Sunil, a very good morning to you. कैसे मदद करें आपकी?
नमस्कार मैम.
नमस्कार.
एलेक्स जी को नमस्कार.
नमस्कार सुनील.
मैम मेरा क्वेश्चन ट्रेंड पे था. मैंने आफ्टर कोविड 900 शेयर लिए थे. सॉरी 120 शेयर लिए थे 950 पे. सॉरी.
ठीक है.
तो उसमें मैम काफी अप्रिशिएट होने के बाद अभी ये डाउनफॉल पे चल रहा है. 8000 से वापस 6000 पे आ गया है.
करेक्ट.
क्योंकि आई थिंक इसकी ग्रोथ काफी पहले 55-56% होती थी, अभी 39% हो रह गई है.
करेक्ट.
आई वांट टू नो कि लॉन्ग टर्म इसका फंडामेंटल व्यू और इसको मतलब ग्रोथ वैल्यूएशंस का क्या हिसाब रहेगा अभी.
जी सुनील, पहले तो आई थिंक आपने बहुत करेक्ट लेवल्स पे स्टॉक को बाय किया है. आप 6 लाख के ऊपर के प्रॉफिट पे बैठे हैं, तो पहले तो कॉन्ग्रेचुलेशंस फॉर दैट. मैं आई विल गेट यू अ फंडामेंटल व्यू ऑन दिस. सौरभ, आई कम टू यू. Trent is one of those counters जहाँ पे there was no stopping at one point of time, but Q2 numbers आने के बाद it did take a hit. How are you expecting Q3 and should he keep holding it at this level or should he book partial profits?
देखिए, मुझे लगता है सुनील जी, आपने एक बहुत ही अच्छे स्टॉक का चयन किया और आप उसके साथ बैठे रहे. अच्छा प्रॉफिट्स भी आपको आ रहे हैं. आपने एक बात बहुत ठीक बोली, जो ग्रोथ थी कंपनी में जो देखी जा रही थी वो अभी टेपर ऑफ हो रही है, इसीलिए स्टॉक प्राइस भी टेपर ऑफ हो रहा है. अगर वैल्यूएशन की बात करें तो यहाँ पर स्टॉक तकरीबन 45 गुना बुक वैल्यू पे ट्रेड कर रहा है और इस स्पेस में कंपटीशन भी काफी इंटेंसिटी से बढ़ रहा है. नो डाउट कि ज़ूडियो एडिशन काफी अच्छा कर रहा है कंपनी के लिए, स्टोर एडिशन हो रहे हैं और ग्रोथ भी हो रहा है, बट इट इज अ लोअर मार्जिन बिजनेस. और भी कंपनी के कई सेगमेंट्स है जहां पर अच्छा ग्रोथ देखने को मिल रहा है. कंपनी अच्छी है, ग्रोथ भी अच्छा आने की उम्मीद है, लेकिन जो ग्रोथ है वो टेपर होने की वजह से वैल्यू स्टॉक प्राइस नीचे की तरफ और भी आ सकता है. मेरी सलाह ये रहेगी कि आप यहाँ पर अपना मुनाफा जरूर बांध दीजिए, क्योंकि वैल्यूएशन अभी भी जरूरत से ज्यादा दिखते हैं.
सबसे पूरा मुनाफा बांधना चाहिए या थोड़ा सा होल्ड करना चाहिए? कॉस्ट प्राइस रिकवर करके फिर होल्ड करना चाहिए?
एलेक्स जी, मुझे लगता है कि 5 गुना 6 गुना इनके पैसे हो गए हैं. मुझे लगता है कि एक ठीक ठाक एक अच्छी कंपनी है, लेकिन प्राइस अच्छा नहीं है. तो अगर ये पूरा मुनाफा भी बांधना चाहें तो मेरी समझ से बांध सकते हैं.
और अगर ये पूरा मुनाफा बांध लें तो डिप्लॉय कहाँ पे करना चाहिए इस मार्केट में?
देखिए, डिप्लॉय करने के लिए मुझे 3-4 क्षेत्र अच्छे लगते हैं. कैपिटल गुड्स अच्छा लगता है, आपका एनर्जी सेक्टर काफी अच्छा लगता है और एक बैंकिंग क्षेत्र काफी अच्छा लगता है. एनर्जी क्षेत्र में मैं कहूंगा कि जैसे कि ग्रीन एनर्जी वाली कंपनियां, सोलर एनर्जी वाली कंपनियों में ये पैसे डाल सकते हैं, हाइड्रो पावर में डाल सकते हैं, जैसे कि एसजेवीएन हो गया, एनटीपीसी हो गया, जहां पर एनटीपीसी अब हाइड्रोजन में भी कारोबार कर रहा है. बैंकिंग क्षेत्र में मुझे लगता है कि जो बड़े बैंक हैं प्राइवेट क्षेत्र में, आईसीआईसीआई जैसे, या फिर अभी हमने छोटे बैंक की एक अपने शो में ही बात करी, बैंक ऑफ महाराष्ट्र या मे बी कैनरा बैंक जैसे, उनमें पैसे डाल सकते हैं. और कैपिटल गुड क्षेत्र में मैं समझता हूँ लार्सन टुब्रो जैसी कंपनी में पैसे को डाल सकते हैं. तो इससे ही अगले 3-5 साल के लिए सालाना 15-20% का सीएजीआर आराम से एक्सपेक्ट कर सकते हैं.
ओके, थैंक यू फॉर दैट व्यू. जस्ट अ क्विक रिमाइंडर, वी कैन स्पीक टू यू इन इंग्लिश. हम आपके साथ हिंदी में भी बात कर सकते हैं और मराठीत पण आम्ही संपर्क करू शकता. तर आम्हाला प्लीज कॉल करा. प्लीज कॉल अस ऑन द नंबर दैट यू सी ऑन द स्क्रीन. इन द मीन वाइल, लेट मी टेक अ वेरी क्विक क्वेश्चन ऑन Lloyd's Metal. It is currently trading. Let's pull that up and see where it's currently trading. The stock has been bought by Abhineet at 1,100 rupees. He's in the green right now. He's wondering whether to hold for 2 years. Saurabh, on the fundamentals, would you hold on?
Alex won't be able to comment on this. It's not in coverage.
Okay. Let me then take a very quick view on the technicals. What's the view, Brijesh, on Lloyd's Metal?
I think the stock is performing. Lately, the stock has seen a good rise. So I think that structurally, the higher term, higher bottom structure is quite positive. So we can expect this to go 1500, 1550 on the near term basis. So there is no reversal. So I would like to hold the counter.
Hold, all right. So it's a hold on Lloyd's Metal. Hope that answers your question, Abhineet. We have to slip into a very quick break, but on the other side, we'll take more of your questions, and also Lakshmi Dental Management is going to be speaking to us. Remember, it's a listing that we have to talk about today, so do stay tuned.
I present the budget for a historic
It's nearly time for Budget 2025, and what that means is that there are a lot of proposals that are coming through to the Finance Minister, and among them, there are proposals from the mutual fund industry as well. I'll talk about three key changes that they are suggesting. One is a rollback in the tax rates that was announced last year. Of course, last year, the capital gains tax, long-term and short-term, was increased to 12.5% and 20% respectively. The mutual fund industry is saying a rollback to the previous rates would be beneficial because it would incentivize more investors to come through and invest, and those people that have come into the investment fold into the mutual fund industry over the past couple of years will be rewarded for their patience and for their investments. The second proposal has to do with the tax treatment on debt mutual funds. Currently, all capital gains emerging from debt mutual funds are taxed at slab rate, and what that means is that depending on which income slab you fall in, if you're in the highest tax slab and you're paying 30% on the income above a certain threshold, your gains from debt mutual funds are also taxed at 30%. That wasn't always the case. Long-term capital gains came into effect after a period of 3 years, and they were taxed at 20% with indexation benefits. Of course, that doesn't remain the case anymore. So the mutual fund industry is asking for a rollback to the previous tax treatment because they say that the debt market in India is growing, is emerging, and it needs to be incentivized. The third change that they're suggesting has to do with the income distribution schemes. Of course, there are two types of schemes in mutual funds. One is the growth scheme, where all gains are reinvested by the fund manager. And in the second case, which is the dividend distribution scheme as it used to be called, the income is distributed on an ongoing basis to unit holders. Now, the thing is, income above 5,000 rupees that is distributed in this manner will have to have tax deducted at source, or TDS, as things stand right now. And the mutual fund industry is suggesting that this threshold be raised to 50,000 rupees, and they expect that this will benefit a lot of people because they won't then have to have tax deducted at source. Of course, there are more proposals that they've made, but we'll see what the finance minister takes up when she presents her budget for 2025.
Do you really know the company you invest in? What's the picture behind presentations and claims? Is the outlook as rosy as the company claims? Know Your Company, powered by NDTV Profit's research, shines a light on the biggest stock market movers. Know Your Company at 11:30 a.m. Monday through Friday, only on NDTV Profit.
Headlines you start your day with.
What matters worldwide is now in the palm of your hands. Get ready to seize the day and maximize your financial potential. Stay ahead of the curve with all you need to know on NDTV Profit.
Welcome back. You're watching Ask Profit, and this is the show that gets you answers to all of your stock-related questions. As things stand, you have the markets that are trading at very close to the high point of the day for the benchmark indices, and it's a very tight range, about 1/3% higher for the Nifty 50. The broader markets are currently in the green, 1/10% for the mid-cap index and about 0.2% or so for the small cap index. So right now gains, small gains at that, but still wait and watch mode. The first question that we will take on this side, and by the way, Brijesh L had to leave us. Thank you so much, Brijesh, for joining in. And we're joined right now by Ajit Mishra, who will take all of your technical questions. Ajit, welcome to the show. The first question I will take is on Sterling and Wilson Solar. And it's a stock that has been beaten down quite drastically in the recent past. Even on Friday, it was down by 10%. Chandi from Cochin has got the question. He's bought at levels of 577. So elevated level. Stock is down a further 5% today. Rajesh, anything that you can say on the fundamentals? Saurabh, anything that you can say on the fundamentals?
Yeah, I think it is the higher valuation which is keeping, putting pressure on the stock. I mean, the stock was pricing its future revenue growth visibility. Still, after reaction also, it is trading at approximately 10 times to book value, which is way higher than its peer group. So, in my sense, it can further come down.
All right, that's the view coming in on Sterling and Wilson. Moving on to the next caller, Ranga from Bengaluru is calling in. Ranga, very good morning to you. How can we help you?
Good morning. Good morning.
Yeah, good morning. Go ahead with your query.
Sir, I bought Motilal Oswal 400 shares
Okay.
at 958.
Okay.
Hold or sell?
Okay.
Short term.
Sorry? Short-term view. Okay. All right. So you want a technical view on this. Ajit, I'll come to you. Motilal Oswal is the counter. How is it faring on charts?
So, Mahima, we are seeing, profit taking because the level he bought it is almost at the record highs. The stock was trading in a consolidation range for almost like 2-3 months in the recent past. And post breakdown, we are seeing gradual drift, and indications are in the favor that we might first test 750 area before making any meaningful recovery. So as of now, he should maintain a stop at 750 if he wish to hold, or exit at least partial position at current levels and maintain a remaining position with the stop loss with 750. In case of bounce, the first zone would be around 860 to 900. Once we cross that barrier, then again the stock might inch toward 1000. So it's a short-term basically correction which might continue at least for next 2-3 weeks. So if you are okay with a 1 month of time horizon, you can continue to stay put.
I'm guessing you're going to have a similar view, Ajit, on the next stock, SJVN. It's a stock that Akash has bought at levels of 104, and the stock is currently trading very close to that point, but it has lost ground in the recent past. What are the prospects for the short term?
So, Alex, last week we witnessed that some of these stocks from the PSU basket in run-up to the budget, they have started seeing some traction. And SJVN also, after this decent correction from its record high, we are seeing that the stock has been witnessing a rebound, but we are still below its short-term averages. So there could be a hurdle around 100 to 103 area, which is very close to his buying price. Once we cross that barrier, then the stock may witness fresh momentum towards 110, 115. So as of now, my view is to stay put with 95 as a stop loss. And once we break that barrier of 102, he can trail stop loss to 98 and wait for 110, 115 as a positional target.
All right, so that's the view on SJVN. We've got a caller. Suresh is calling us from Andhra Pradesh. Suresh, thanks so much for calling. How can we help you today?
Thank you, sir. Very good morning, sir.
Good morning. Please go ahead.
Actually, I bought Shakti Pump shares at 3 intervals at an average cost of 1067 rupees.
Okay.
And total number of shares is 129.
Okay.
Recently, it went up to around 1400.
Yes.
Again, it came back to 1020.
Yes.
Today, it's at 1100 rupees.
Yes.
I am at a profit of 4000.
Yes.
I want to know what is its share after 1 year.
1 year. Okay. So.
Can I sell it or hold it?
Okay. When you bought it, did you buy it based on the price movement, Suresh, or did you buy it based on the prospects and the fundamentals?
Actually, it's based on the fundamentals. Actually, it's performing well. ROE is above 34 actually. Actually, it's related to solar, no? Renewable energy.
Shakti pumps, you're saying?
Yes, sir. Shakti pumps.
Okay.
Recently, it's 5:1 ratio.
Okay. But it's in the irrigation space, not in the renewable space, Suresh.
Actually, it is based on the solar pumps. Okay. Irrigation department only.
Yeah.
Agricultural.
Horticulture, domestic water supply, commercial and industrial applications. Yes.
Actually, it's working on the solar.
Okay. Okay. Let me get a view from Saurabh on this. Fundamentally, Saurabh, do you like Shakti Pumps? It is trading at 1,100, 5% higher in trade today. Would you stay invested?
Initially, it was a very small company. Now it's going at a very good pace. The company was able to get good orders, and that is why we have seen good amount of growth stupendous growth in the revenue and the profitability. So year on year, that is why the stock got re-rated. But on the valuation front, I'm afraid it is still expensive. Even after the correction, quoting 17 times to book value and approximately 40 times to its trailing 12 months earnings. So in my sense, I think it is, while the space is good, but if he wants to stick for the next 2-3 years, then it is quite okay. It is simply okay. But if he is there for short term, I think it is better to take profits off the table. So in my sense, for the short term, it is better to sell.
That is the view coming in on Shakti Pumps. Moving on to the next query, Sumit from Bengaluru is holding Dixon Technology, bought at the levels of 17,600. His quantity is 150, so he's sitting on a loss of 32,000 rupees, over 32,000 rupees. He wants to know as to what is the understanding with respect to stock price movement with results expected at the end of this month, and what is the view for the next 6 to 8 weeks. I'll come to you, Ajit, on this one, since he wants to know with respect to charts in the next 6 to 8 weeks. But he's also factoring the results. I mean, if you have a view along with that, if you can, please.
So, Mahima, we all know the kind of surge that most of these manufacturing names they have done in the recent months. In fact, if you'll talk about Dixon, particularly the stock have moved up almost vertically from 4,000 to 19,000 mark. In between, if you'll see the last 7-8 months, there were phases of intermediate consolidation, but the overall trend is still positive. So if, let's say, if it's, there's two sides to this, since the earnings season is already undergoing, and we are seeing that stocks wherein if there is any, expectations are high and it failed to match with the expectation, we are seeing sharp corrections also. So if his view is 6 to 8 weeks, it's too short for any investment. In that case, he should definitely maintain stop losses. So for this position, the stock is quoting at 17,300 mark. 16,800 should be his stop loss for this position. And upside 18,000, 18,500 is the area basically where we have the next resistance placed. So irrespective of the result, if your view is short term, you should definitely maintain stop losses with 18,000, 18,500 as a positional target area.
16,800 is the stop loss for the counter for the next 6 to 8 weeks, and 18,000 to 18,500 is the target given by Ajit. Moving on to the next caller, Rishabh from Bengaluru is calling in. Rishabh, a very good morning to you. How can we help you?
Good morning, ma'am.
Good morning.
I wanted to ask about the Indian Oil Corporation stock.
Okay.
My average is around 164 rupees.
Okay.
I bought 180 quantity.
Okay.
I should know. So I wanted to know, should I buy it and average it out, or should I continue to hold the stock?
Right.
It's for a long-term view.
Okay. What's the kind of thinking with which you bought IOCL?
Ma'am, the thinking for IOC was purely the fundamental analysis. Given the company wants to be $1 trillion company by 2047, and I just want to hold it for a very long term
Got it.
prospect. And yeah, but the financials past quarters have shown very weak financials. So I just wanted to know, should I continue to buy or hold the stock?
Right. Saurabh, I'll come to you. As he rightly mentioned, weak quarters, in the past few quarters. But, even these refining companies have been in focus because we've seen that, the Singapore gross refining margins have also crashed, and they've crashed around 70% in the last week itself. And we had, kind of seen the impact on all of these, OMCs. Your view with respect to IOCL?
If he has to go only contrarian call. He has to take contrarian call because the stock is trading at a price to book value. If the global growth starts picking up, then we'll see some Singapore gross refining margins also going up, because this type of crash will not hold for long. And if he wants to invest for the next 2-3 years, he can chip in, because he's also having a good dividend yield, close to 8-9%. And I think it is a value stock. It's only a contrarian call which he can take.
Okay. All right. Let's take the next one. Shriram Finance is a stock that was under a little bit of pressure in trade at the start today on account, I think, of the RBL results. Let's see where it is right now. It is up it's down about 1.6, but recovered from the low point of the day. Deepika from Hyderabad has asked in this question. She's bought 250 shares at a price of 591. Stock is currently trading at 517 or thereabouts. She's looking to hold for only about 2 to 3 months, so she's wondering whether to sell at this juncture. Ajit, on the charts?
So Alex, we are seeing profit taking for almost 2.5 months now. The stock has retraced from 700 to 500 zone. Post numbers, we are seeing that the stock is trying to witness some recovery. So yes, there's a possibility that we might see this recovery continuing due to the oversold position, and 540, 560 is something that the stock might test. So as of now, my recommendation is to stay put with 500 as a closing stop loss for the day, and 560, 570 zone around that area. She should at least reduce some position and maintain a trailing stop loss at 540 for the remaining trade.
I think there was an interesting commentary coming in from Kotak as well today on Shriram Finance, which was, they've mentioned that the goods segment has been showcasing a weak trend, and they've witnessed increase in the delinquency in truck operators, which is why, the stock is seeing a significant pressure.
So commercial vehicle lending, MFI lending, microfinance lending, all in trouble.
And collections and underwriting in the commercial vehicle segment are also kind of tightening, which is why there's a negative sentiment on the stock. Moving on to the next caller that we have. Ram from Hyderabad is calling in. Ram, a very good morning to you. How can we help you?
Yeah, good morning, madam. Good morning to all panel members. I would like to know about Goldium International, madam.
Right.
I bought it at 490 rupees 1,000 shares.
Right.
I would like to know the prospectus feature about lab-grown diamonds place.
Right.
And these people are entering Titan, Westlife, and Renaissance, all are coming out with outlets.
Right.
These Goldium people also recently they are entering 500 branches and online sales.
Correct.
With the app.
Right.
I would like to know information kindly.
All right. I'll take your query with Saurabh. Saurabh, Goldium is, kind of involved in exports of jewelry, and as far as I know, I don't think they've yet entered the lab-grown manufacturing space. But your view with respect to the counter, if you have coverage?
A few days back, its management was there on the air, and they were saying that they have entered into the lab-grown diamond space, and they have tied up with many vendors. Also, they have their own lab-grown manufacturing units also. So, in that sense, the company was quite the management was quite confident of the space and the demand, which is growing exponentially, largely because it is exporting in the US markets and all. So in that sense, I think the company is good, and the growth prospects are looking quite firm. So my sense, he can hold on to it.
What is the view coming in on Goldium Industries? Now moving on to the next caller, Upasana from Goa is calling in. Upasana, a very good morning to you. कैसे मदद करें आपकी?
Very good morning, ma'am.
जी.
Yeah. I have a query. I bought a share of JP Power Ventures.
ठीक है.
I have bought 2,703 shares.
ठीक है.
For average price is 8.20 rupees.
8120 ठीक है.
हाँ, मुझे जानना है कि मैं ये होल्ड कर सकती हूँ लॉन्ग टर्म के लिए फॉर 3 to 5 years.
ओके. आपने कोई स्टडी किया था इसको बाय करने से पहले या कैसे, मतलब जेपी पावर क्यों?
हाँ, मैंने मार्केट कैप के बेसिस पे इसको बाय किया था एक्चुअली.
अच्छा ठीक है. सौरभ, आई विल कम टू यू ऑन दिस वन इफ यू हैव कवरेज ऑन जेपी पावर.
पावर जनरेशन स्पेस एज सच काफी अच्छा लग रहा है, बट जिस समूह की ये कंपनी है उससे थोड़ा सा प्रॉब्लम लगता है कि उस समूह के शेयर्स थोड़ा कम, समूह थोड़ा परेशानी में चल रहा है. कंपनी अच्छी है, वैल्यूएशंस भी अच्छे हैं, आप रख सकते हैं.
11,000 crore market capitalization. Hope that answers your question. Shankar is calling us from Chennai. Shankar, morning. How can we help you today?
Morning, sir. First, my sincere thanks to you and your TV and your guests. Past 1 month, I inquired about 12 stocks.
Okay.
Now my final stock inquiries. I'm holding Orient Green.
Okay.
3,600 shares at the rate of 19 rupees and 50 paise.
Okay.
Past one and a half years back, I bought. I am ready to hold 10 years, 15 years, or another 20 years also.
Okay.
I want to know only about this company's fundamental and technical.
Okay. 13 is an...
I'm not greedy, but I am expecting more.
No, that's fair, that's fair. Shankar, and 13 is an unlucky number, so I'd invite you to call us about the 14th stock as well. And don't stop calling us. I hope that we can continue to help you.
But my inquiries is only to fresh buys. Only I want to know your ideas.
Got it. Okay. So you're holding...
At present, I'm holding shares I inquired. In future, I inquired only fresh buys.
Okay. Okay. I understand. But you want to know about Orient Green Power, which is currently trading at 16.6. You bought it at slightly over 19 rupees on the fundamentals. He's willing to hold for the very long term. He's he's seeing a loss right now. Saurabh, on the fundamentals, would you hold on to this, or are there better prospects?
I think it is not the best of the lot. While the sector looks good, I think we have no information about the future growth prospects or the future expansion plans of the company. Moreover, the promoters are only holding 25-26% share in the company, and a large chunk of is that pledged. So, in my opinion, I think if you want to go in the same space, I think NTPC, SJVN, NHPC provides better opportunities for the next 15-20 years.
So that's the view coming in on NTPC, I believe, and SJVN. Okay, moving on to the next query. Krupesh from Karnataka is calling in. Krupesh, a very good morning to you. How can we help you?
Hey, good morning, madam. Good morning, everyone. So my query is, I wanted to buy Netweb Technologies because I found the fundamentals are very strong.
Right.
I would like to keep it for a longer time. So I wanted to know, is it the right time to enter, or if I can expect more correction in this?
All right. Krupesh, as I can see, the stock is down 3% as we speak. But in terms of the Q3 numbers, revenue was up 33%, EBIT was up 23%, margins have improved, has slid tad bit by 100 basis points, and net profit was up 18% for the company. The cost of raw material has gone up, but it's been a highest ever quarterly income and PAT, and order book stood at 360 crore. Saurabh, I'll come to you. Q3 numbers looked good, but the street is not very happy. What do you make of this?
I think it is the only valuation concern. Stock is trading about 140 times to its trailing earnings and about 25, 30 times to book value. I think while the company is growing at a very good pace, but at the same time, the stock is very richly priced, discounting, I think, next 3, 4, 5 year earnings. So in my sense, I think it is best to avoid.
Okay. Gentlemen, thank you so much for joining in and for answering all the questions that you did. Always a pleasure speaking with you and having you on the show. Now, it's time to address today's new listing and the newest kid on the block. This is Lakshmi Dental. It is a company that is involved in the manufacture of dental products. And there are several that they have. The stock has had a strong listing. It was oversubscribed quite considerably during the IPO process, which was a mix of a fresh issue as well as an offer for sale. We're joined by the management. We've got Rajesh Kakkar as well as Samir Merchant joining in Gentlemen, thanks so much for taking the time, and I must say I love the outfits. Very bright and colorful, and congratulations on the new listing.
Thank you.
I've been practicing my smile, but I must admit that I don't go to the dentist as often as I should. You need to tell my viewers what the prospects are for the space that you operate in. But first, let's talk about the utilization of the proceeds. So you've already disclosed, of course, but what are the timelines here? I'll come to you first, Rajesh.
Yeah, so it's better Samir give this answer.
Okay.
So let Samir to give this answer.
Okay, Samir, please go
ahead.
ahead.
So firstly, I would like to thank thank you. Firstly, like I said, I would like to thank all the public investors and the institutional investors for putting their faith on us. So a heartfelt gratitude to all of them. Now coming to the utilization, when you said, we have disclosed majority of it, all of it in the UDRHP and the RHP, where half of the money is going towards capex. There are some portion which is debt repayment, and the other is GCP. Now, in terms of timeline, of course, the goal for any company when they raise capital is how quickly and how efficiently you can deploy it, and that's the same with us.
Right.
No, but okay, so I take that point, but would you say that, for example, the repayment of the outstanding borrowings will take place in this financial year itself? I'm talking about FY26. Samir?
Like I said, we have already started talking to the banks, and the goal, yes, like I said, we have already started talking to the banks, and we will try and do it as quickly as possible.
All right. Rajesh, Mahima also joining in. I just wanted to understand, it's your margin trajectory has been significant, from 5.5 in FY23 to 12.3 to now 19.4 in first half of FY25, if I'm not wrong. Where does the number go from here, and what has led to this kind of growth in margin levers?
It's all, as we mentioned, that automation and the digitalizations and in last 2-3 years we have introduced new products. So it gives us a good edge to increase the margin and to do the good business. Otherwise, Samir can add here.
And sure, to add here, if you see historically for us, like you said, the margins have grown. It's a hybrid mix of couple of things. It is automation that we have put in post-COVID, where we are trying to automate as much as we can to be ready for the next level of scale. We are digitizing a lot, which means, the dental impressions, which is typically physically taken by the dentist. We have added a lot of digital scanners, and we are taking that route to automate as well. Then third is a profile mix of our pediatric, our aligners, and our crowns and bridges and dentures. That is also changing as we speak, and coupled with that, our international expansion as well. So it's a mix of a lot of hybrid process that we have done through a lot of hard work pre-COVID and during the COVID, which is bearing a lot of fruits right now.
Samir, where does the international split or the split between revenue international versus domestic currently stand, and where does it go in FY26?
So currently it's at 35-65 approximately, like H1 was about 33-67. So it will keep fluctuating between, I would say, those delta. And we will keep maintain momentum, because India is also very strong in terms of growth as well as international.
Samir, what kind of opportunities are you seeing with respect to, government trying for import substitutes of the products?
So on the import side, when they're trying to get import, that's on the raw material side. Now on the finished goods, where there's the caps and crowns and other part, there is very little or there is none which is happening on the import side. So we are focusing a lot in India, spreading our wings across pan-India and growing the company. At the same time, like I said, we are in close to 95 countries across the world. And hopefully the products are great that we have built, and we keep evaluating how many more countries that we can keep adding based on regulatory clearance. And we'll keep doing that in the future.
And our dental industry, if government think about the dental tourism, because we have a medical tourism in India, if a government think about the dental tourism, it's good for whole dental industry, for our dentist. And we strongly believe our Indian dentists are one of the best dentists in the world.
Yeah, I can attest to that. Thanks so much, Rajesh and Samir, for joining in. Pleasure speaking with you, and wish you all the best. All right. that brings us to the end of this edition of Ask Profit. It's been an interesting one, and we've got lots lined up over the course of the day. From Mahima and myself and the team that put this show together, thank you so much for watching. Do stay tuned. This is NDTV Profit.